just to give you more updates as we are getting more news in the coming hours, we will be giving you even more updates. I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, so we have to discuss about some very, very interesting, important topics here. We will start with Yoav Gallant, the Israeli war minister or defense minister, now rushing back to the States. This is the third time he is visiting the States, meeting with Lloyd Austin. Then we'll be talking about, but there is actually some very, very interesting news with that one. Lloyd Austin meeting with Yoav Gallant. I'll tell you something very, very interesting. Don't go anywhere. And then we'll be talking about the Netanyahu visiting the border, this 36th division of the IDF in Lebanon, where they are fighting Hezbollah. He is visiting them. And then we'll be talking also about Iranian flights that are now being grounded because the Israeli strike looms right now as we speak. Anyways, I'll be starting with you and I will be sharing actually some maps at the same time, so you don't want to miss out on all of this. Let's talk about Yoav Gallant, his visit to the United States. Guys, as I have said, that he visited United States back in the month of March of this year. Then he visited again in June, and now he is going back again. The question is why at this time? Because think about this. Right now, Israel should be preparing its strike on Iran. He should be actually in Israel, not in the States. But why he is visiting? Well, the reason because his boss, this guy, Yoav Gallant's boss, he is not talking with Prime Minister Netanyahu. What do I mean by that? Means his boss, Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, and Lloyd Austin's boss, Joe Biden, they are not on speaking terms. For the last 50 days, they did not speak. For the last 50 days, there is absolutely no communication between Joe Biden and Netanyahu. Now they need US's support more than ever. If Joe Biden is not talking to Netanyahu, you know he will not be able to get everything he wants. Because Joe Biden, I think he does have some honor, self-esteem that he can use sometimes against Netanyahu. And looks like to me, because he's not on speaking terms with Netanyahu, looks like to me that Netanyahu is not getting the support he anticipated from Joe Biden administration. So what he does, he sends Gallant to the States to meet Lloyd Austin and give him all the updates and get all the support that he needs to strike Iran, which would definitely make it a very, very challenging one for Iran to strike Iran if they can at all. Looks like right now the situation is such that Israel, we do not know. They're not in a position to strike Iran because US and Iran and Israel, they're not on the same page. We are expecting an attack on October the 7th on Iran by Israel, but looks like that may not be possible. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant will travel to the States this week. Actually, he's going this week and will meet Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. It will be the third visit by Gallant to the U.S. since the start of the war a year ago. After trips in March and June, he is expected to meet with other senior Biden administration officials as well. Though no other meetings have been announced, there is no comment from the Israeli side. Meeting all of these high-ranking officials in the States, trying to shore up some support for the country, is something they did not expect. But all of a sudden, they're finding themselves in this quagmire, in this swaggle, where they cannot really get out of it. Now, we also have to discuss these attacks coming from Hezbollah right now on Israel. The attacks are very, very consistent. It is completely relentless, making life very, very miserable for the Zionists inside of Israel. And we have reports that even the IDF, Israeli soldiers, now they're saying, yes, these attacks are happening. And what we are hearing from outside reports and also from Hezbollah occasionally is actually true. Now, let's talk about this report because I think it is also very important. So we have talking about Gallant rushing to the States because he needs to get the support. And Macron made a statement yesterday saying that we should sanction Israel and put an arm embargo on them. It is very, very interesting. Think about the timing of what Macron is saying and think about how Joe Biden is reacting to all of this. Macron is basically saying we should not be giving weapons to Israel right when Israel needs it the most. They need those weapons the most right now because now they're dealing with not Hamas or Hezbollah, who are stateless basically, even though we know Hamas is from Palestine and Gaza and Hezbollah is in Lebanon, but they don't really have authority or government in a country like Iran. So now they're dealing with Iran. Macron, by telling the world, and also I believe, also made a point to the states that, look, you guys cannot give these people, Zionists, more weapons that they can use to destroy Iran, because if you do, then what will happen to our economy is devastating. So Macron is making these statements not haphazardly or without thinking. He knows that those words, sanctioning Israel, would be needed right now the most, when Israel needs those weapons the most. Therefore, it makes sense that Netanyahu tells French leader arms ban will boost Iran. Now, what is even more interesting is this. Normally, you will not see Netanyahu countering it, like all the head of state, like Irish Prime Minister or Venezuelan Prime Minister, or even sometimes UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, sometimes he will also say things that is really not very pleasant to Israel. But most of the time we have seen Gallant and Netanyahu, this government, will keep it quiet, will not make big buzz about it. But do you know they're making a big deal right now because of what Macron said? Why? It is because they know that Macron, France, is now lobbying, perhaps, I don't know, they're lobbying United States, Congress, and the government in the States to not give Israel any more arms. I think that is happening behind closed doors. This is why Netanyahu made twice statement targeting Macron. Number one, first time he said, this is a disgrace, Macron, you should not say that. Number two, he said this, take a look. He said that Netanyahu tells French arms ban will boost Iran. So first time he said it is a disgrace, Macron. The second time he said this will help Iran. In other words, what we are seeing from Netanyahu is complete desperation. He is now terrified that perhaps the U.S. will listen to Macron and not send those weapons, the one he needs. And now he is visiting this border with Lebanon, where his soldiers are getting killed. I have reported on these guys, and I showed you how the Humvee, I made the other video, I think the last video was about this, so Hammer or something like that, the military vehicle they have, I think the Humvees, right, was blown up by Hezbollah. And so now, and he lost quite a bit of his soldiers from IDF. Now he's visiting IDF in Lebanon, in that border. I think the border is called Ma'alot or something, in Lebanese border, trying to, give them some courage. And he did. He said, you guys are changing reality for the last 1 year. I don't know what he mean by that, but this guy is out of his mind. He says, if you read here, Netanyahu visits Lebanon border, says, reality being changed since October 7 last year. He's completely delusional. Reality did not change. Nothing has changed. What has changed is people's life in Gaza, in Lebanon. This guy is so delusional. He's visiting these stations and telling his troops, oh, you guys are doing a good job by killing those people. This is what he said. A year ago, we suffered a terrible blow, Netanyahu said during the visit. According to the Prime Minister's office, over the past 12 months, we are changing reality from end to end. Yeah, the moron is on it again. Now, Iran has grounded or canceled their flights. Flights from all Iran's airports have been canceled from 9 p.m. today until 6 a.m. tomorrow local time. Iran's Mahar news agency says Again, we do not know when this attack from Israel will come, if at all. In the next coming weeks, we don't know what Israel will do, but they will attack. These people are crazy. A notice to pilots, or NORAM, sent out by Iranian authorities confirms the closure while carving out expectations for emergency flight, ferry flights, and state aircraft. So this is what is happening right now. In Iran, they are bringing down these flights. They're not going to be flying those commercial flights at the moment because of what Israel could do with the attack. But nevertheless, we know that flights will resume very, very soon. Oil field attack, nuclear site attack, they cannot make up their minds. Joe Biden he doesn't know what to do. Macron is going crazy. If Israel attacks Iran, the oil fields get blown up, and Iran attacks other oil fields, in the Middle East, then we will have to have a World War III, because every country will fight for their survival, and things will go crazy, out of control, very, very fast. So, for Israel, it is a very, very precarious situation, and they do not know what will be the next plan. At the same time, these politicians, this hubris and with their arrogance, they don't want to talk to Joe Biden. Can you imagine Netanyahu receiving billions of dollars in aid from U.S., doesn't even talk to the guy in Washington? This is the level of arrogancy and stubbornness he has.